Hi guys, it's Charla. Today I'm going to show you how to make some plantain fries using green plantain, air fried, really delicious, no deep fat frying, using my homemade curry sauce. I cannot wait to show you guys how to make it, so let's get to it. These are the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need some green plantain. So green plantain is pretty much the green counterpart to the popular, well-known yellow plantain. So you want to make sure that you get green plantain for this recipe, which is the savory kind. You're also going to need some of my homemade curry sauce. For those of you who've been following my blog and my vlog, you'll know that I already have a curry sauce recipe. It's really delicious, not to sound biased, but that is something that you're going to need for this recipe, and I will put the link in the either description box or actually on the screen, because I already have the video for it, just for references, so you know what ingredient you're going to need and how to make it. Seasoning wise, I have my homemade curry powder. Again, I love my homemade stuff. I also have some paprika, some onion and garlic granules, but you can use some onion and garlic powder instead, some pink salt, some water as well, and also some olive oil spray as well to coat the fries. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to peel our plantain before we make it into fries. So I have one of the green plantain on my chopping board, and I'm just going to get a paring knife, and I'm going to first of all just chop off, or should I say slice off, the ends of the plantain, because we don't need those. So just slice those off and discard them. And then what you want to do is you want to just cut the plantain lengthways. So you just want to just score or lengthways the plantain, and you just want to make sure that you're not going too deep into the flesh when you're doing that, or else you will remove too much of the flesh when you're removing the skin. So once you just slice it lengthways, you just want to use your thumb. I tend to use my thumb, and you just pull. It should pull away. You'll find that the skin will be able to pull away using your thumb. It's a bit difficult to explain, but you'll see from the video that you can pretty much use your thumb to pull away the skin. It starts off a little slow, and then once you get into the rhythm of removing the skin, it becomes a lot easier. So that's the simplest way for removing the skin. And you just want to do that to both of the plantain, and then I will show you what you need to do after you've done that. So this is what your green plantain should look like once you have peeled it. So now what I'm going to do is show you how I chop my plantain into fries. So I just take one of the plantain and I like to slice it in half. So I start by slicing it in half with a knife, and then I use my crinkle cutter. This is optional, but I do think the crinkle cutter makes it quite fun and different and unique in terms of the shape of the fries. So I like to use my crinkle cutter. As you can see, I'm just starting by slicing in the middle of these already halved plantain, and then I just go in and I just make it into small fries. The size of the fries is subjective to what you want. If you want chunky fries, like we pretty much call them, or at least in the UK they call them chips, you can make them into bigger chips instead and not fries, but I like to just stick to fries. So they're quite small, or should I say thin, in the strips. I would say they're about 1/4 of an inch. That is pretty much the size that I went for. So you can do something like that if you want to. So you just want to just use your crinkle cutter if you have one, or just use a knife just to slice both of the plantain into fries, and then I will show you what it looks like as well. Another thing I should mention as well that I like to do is I don't really care for the middle part of the plantain. I've been like that since I was a child. For some reason, I don't like to eat it. You might be the same as me and you don't like to eat that part. So I tend to just cut it out as I'm going along. So you can do that if you're the same as me as well. And I will show you what they look like once I've finished slicing them. So a few minutes later, I've almost finished chopping the plantain into fries. And once I've done that, I'll show you what they look like. So I'll just grab a few of the fries and show you what it looks like. So they're nice thin strips, crinkle cut, ready to go. So the next thing we need to do now is to parboil our plantain before we air fry them. So I have a large saucepan here and I'm going to just add some water to it, and I'm going to wait for it to boil. So I'm just going to pour the water in and wait for it to boil, and then I will show you what you need to do once it's boiled. So now the water has reached boiling point. You want to add all of those dry spices that I mentioned at the beginning of the recipe to that boiled water. Then once you do that, then you need to add your fries. You just want to add the plantain fries now. So you do this now. This is going to enhance the taste of the fries, and at the same time it's going to give the fries some color as well. That really helps to enhance the yellow hue to the plantain fries. So when you do this now, you want to just parboil, so you're not completely cooking the plantain through. We're just doing it to the point for probably a few minutes. It's really important to get the sweet spot for this. You don't want them to be too soft, but at the same time you don't want them to be more firm like they were at the beginning. If they're too soft, it'll be too mushy, and if they're too firm, then it's going to be too firm for the recipe. So just keep an eye for a few minutes, and it should look a little bit almost translucent when it's ready. So after a few minutes now, I'm going to get a slotted spoon and I'm going to remove some of the plantain fries so you can see what they look like. The color has changed. Hopefully you can see that on camera. So they're ready to be removed from that hot water. So what we want to do now is we want to stop that cooking process by putting it in a colander and just draining off the hot water. And also you want to just rinse it with cold water. As you can see, it's in the colander. I did do that process, but I didn't do it on the camera, that I rinsed it off with cold water after draining off the hot water, and that will stop the cooking process. So now that we've parboiled the fries, it's time to add them to a bag. So you need a Ziploc bag or a tie handle bag or some type of bag that you can secure. So it needs to be large as well, preferably a large one. So as you can see here, I'm just adding the parboiled fries to my secure bag. So you just want to add all of them in there and make sure you get all of them in there. And then I will show you what you need to do once you've added them to the bag. So now that we've added our fries to the bag, you just want to get that homemade curry sauce. I did put the link at the beginning just in case you didn't see it at the beginning when I was telling you guys about the ingredients that you need. I did put the link to that, or should I say the clip to make that. So you add the sauce, then you want to secure the bag shut and you want to shake that bag. So what we're doing here is when we're shaking the bag, we're just distributing the curry sauce evenly so that all of the fries are completely coated. It's really important that all of the fries are coated. So you do this by shaking the bag and just moving the curry sauce around to make sure that all of the fries are coated, because that's going to give the fries the curry taste and the flavor as well. So shake that a few times and then we're going to open it up and see what it looks like. So now that I've shaken the bag a lot, I'm going to just open the bag and show you guys that the fries are nicely coated, and that's pretty much what they should look like before we move on to air frying them. So now it's time to air fry the fries. As you can see, I've lined my air fry basket. That's an optional step if you want to do that. And I've just pretty much dumped the fries in the middle of the basket, and I'm using a spoon just to distribute them, just to make sure that they're not overcrowded and they have a lot of space around them. So this does depend on the size of your air fryer basket. Mine is quite large. I can't remember the capacity, but mine is a large drawer. So you just want to just add as many of the fries to your air fryer basket depending on the capacity of your air fryer, and then you want to air fry them for about, I think it was about 20 minutes or so, just until they're crispy. So just keep an eye on them once you're air frying them, and halfway through we will be adding the oil then. So this is what the fries look like halfway through cooking. So this is when I use my olive oil spray and I just go in and spray the top of the fries. You want to keep an eye on them at this point now, because you want to shake the fries or the basket to move them around and make sure that they're coated, and also add more oil if you need to. So this is what the final result looks like. Nice and crispy, super flavorsome, no deep fat frying required. I'm just going to take one up now and show you that they're really crispy, and I promise you will enjoy them. I hope you like this recipe. Most importantly, please like, comment and subscribe. It really does keep me motivated, and it also tells me that you guys like my recipes too. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will catch you on the other side.